Good morning, everyone. This is Commissioner Bell. Today is Tuesday, June 11th, 2024, and we'll call this meeting to order at 8 a.m. As a reminder, our call-in number is 971-254-3149, conference ID 866-914-607#. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute your phones. You can do this by pressing star 6. Please unmute yourself when called to speak, again pressing star 6. It's very important for all others to remain muted. Thank you. So we'll call this meeting to order and start with the Board of Commissioners. Welcome, Commissioner Olson.
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning. I believe Commissioner Scar is not with us this morning. She was in a board training. She told us last week that she would be absent for this week and the next two. So unless I'm mistaken, we are without Commissioner Scar this morning. And with that, we can jump right into the Adventist Health Tillamook report and President Eric Swanson. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Commissioner. We
Hi.
have 13 patients in the hospital today, 6 surgery cases scheduled. Ambulance crews did 591 transports yesterday, no transfers, no transports home. We have 91 patients boarding in emergency departments across Oregon. That's 4 more than yesterday. 377 patients who've been discharged, but there's no place to go. That's 3 more than yesterday also. Today we are holding a brief reception for Chaplain Pam Strawn. Pam has been our chaplain for the last 4 years, and prior to that, she worked for Adventist Health Portland for 14 years. And Pam is going to be, this is her last week working for Adventist Health. She's going to be moving to the southeast part of the United States to care for her aging mother. And while we are going to miss Pam, she's done a great job here. We understand that taking care of an aging parent is a higher calling, and we wish Pam well in her new, this next chapter in her life. So we'll be celebrating her a little bit later this morning. The last thing I want to tell you or remind you of is that on Sunday, which is Father's Day, at 7 p.m., Ryan Stevenson will be in concert at the Tillamook Seventh-day Adventist Church. This is a concert that we at Adventist Health Tillamook are sponsoring. Ryan is the nephew of Gary Stevenson, our executive chef, and Janie Taylor, who was a nurse for us for over 40 years, and I know his uncle Randy. And we're excited to have Ryan Stevenson come back to Tillamook and share again his concert and message. So if you're looking for something uplifting on your Sunday afternoon or something to do for Father's Day, be at the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Doors open at 6. It's going to be packed, and his program starts at 7, and you do not want to miss it. So with that, that's all I've got for you this morning.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the concert invitation. That sounds really fun and like a great way to celebrate Father's Day. And also congratulations rather than congratulations, I should say thank you to Pam Strawn for her service as chaplain. She is a lovely person, and I've met her and enjoyed her company in chapel myself, but also I've heard from a lot of people in the community how much they value her service and how much it has meant to them having her here. So she will certainly be missed.
She's been a great addition to our hospital and our bigger Tillamook family, and she's done a great job recruiting some part-time chaplains. So even though Pam's going to be leaving, we've got other per diem chaplains who will be covering to make sure that spiritual care needs are met at our hospital. And she's just done an amazing job, and we are thankful for her, and we will miss her for sure.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions for Eric? If not, we'll say thanks again, and we can move on to the Coastal Caucus. Do we have Senator Weber with us this morning?
Good morning, Commissioner Bell. Yes, I'm here.
Good morning.
Misty this morning, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it was, if you have curly hair, you know, today's the day it's going to show up. And
That's
the
right.
other thing is that the moisture has made, I have a problem with robins. And as soon as my carrots come up, and the ground is wet. They see those little sprouts and they eat them. And so I've been chasing the robins away all morning long because they are feasting on my little carrot starts. So anyway, we'll get on with things, won't we? There are bigger things in the world. I had a full week last week. I was not in the area. And this week, I have also got a full week of meetings. And as a group and individually that are relating to our area and relating especially to our economics. Last week I met with Chief Oder from south end of the county, and we had a really good discussion, especially about funding related fire and emergency services. And it is not surprising to you and to anyone, the data from the district, and that's whether it's Banks or it's Astoria or it's Tillamook or it's South Tillamook County, the number of related calls that they go on that are especially related to tourism. And unfortunately, people come here to recreate, but they're not aware of the perils of the area. And it's very sad when we lose people because of that. We've had several accidents up the Wilson River, especially in the 31 to 35 milepost area. We had another accident out here at Wilson River Loop. We had a drowning, all very sad, but they definitely put a strain on the amount of funding we have for emergency services. So this is something that we hope to find at least a partial solution to in the next legislative session. We'll see how it all works out. I am so disheartened when people come from other places and have tragic accidents. And a lot of it is because of not paying attention to safety issues. I also want to congratulate our graduates. I've been seeing pictures of 8th grade, kindergarten, high school, college, and beyond. And I know that in the next couple of weeks, I've got 3 college graduations, grandkids, and special people that are graduating. And I just want to make sure that I congratulate all of them, wish them well, and I can hardly wait to see what you're going to do next. The caucus meeting we had last week was very intense. We spent several days at Black Butte exploring and discussing issues that are going to be coming to our next legislative session related to transportation, housing, inflation, healthcare, economic development. The price of energy is very disconcerting to many people in our state. And we can be very thankful for our PUD right here. We talked about dam removal and fish. Another issue that is very pertinent to a lot of parts of our state. We don't have any dams that need to be removed, but fish are an important part of our economy. We also delved into agency efficiency because of all of the constituent requests we're getting, especially around unemployment and family leave. And then now with the FAFSA, that is the financial form that college seniors fill out, being late and affecting whether or not funds are available for community college, and how that is, our government agencies being not as efficient is impacting our local people especially. We had long sessions about the urban-rural divide and how that is affecting our economics, our health care, the pharmacies. There were a lot of things that we had to talk about. And remember that we're getting ready for the long session, which will start in January. And many of those issues that I just related to you will be topics of legislation in the future. And there will be a lot of challenges related to them. And we have another Ledge Days because, 2 weeks ago we had Ledge Days, and we talked about all of the consequences of the legislation that we passed in the short session, and had reports on how things are going forward with that. Some of the really disconcerting reports revolved around care for Alzheimer's patients and other healthcare related issues where people are having problems, pharmaceuticals, especially in rural areas. So we'll hear more about that in September. But in the meantime, the process for building legislation is happening now. And so I'm getting a lot of mail on that particular issue. Remember that the Transportation Roadshow is coming to Tillamook on the 18th, Port of Tillamook Bay. I know you've probably heard a lot about it. This is an important outreach by the transportation people to talk about local issues and to also inform us on what may be coming forward. There's a lot of rumors on potential gas tax increases, and there's a lot of issues around electric charging stations and electric vehicles, and are they paying their fair share of road taxes? And so that will be interesting. And on a really positive note, on the 21st of June is going to be the groundbreaking for TBCC's new healthcare education building. This is huge. We are, like all professional areas, we've been suffering in being able to provide healthcare workers for the workforce. Tillamook Bay Community College has taken this step forward, and I think it's going to make a huge impact, especially in our area. And I also wanted to highlight the fact that this week, I talk about something called COPAC and Northwest Act. Well, this week, Tillamook County is going to be hosting that group. There's COPAC in the morning, and there's the Northwest Act in the afternoon, and that's on Thursday. And it gives us all a regional view of economic development and transportation issues that pertain to our district. And so you can see a district-wide perspective to all of the challenges that we have. And then I'd just like to close by saying Happy Father's Day. I'm going to get to see my son this Father's Day, and it's going to be very nice. So I wish all the fathers a wonderful Sunday. Of course, you'll be treated like the kings that you are. So thank you. And thank you. Do you have any questions about anything that I could help you with this morning?
Oh, thank you, Senator. Thanks so much. Hey, would you mind running down for us again the agenda of the Transportation Roadshow? Because I recall that there's an evening portion that the public is invited to. Do you have that handy?
I think I've got it memorized. There's a tour in the morning that goes from 10 to 2. So these folks will be here in this area looking at our transportation challenges in this area from 10 to 2. And then from 2:30 to 4:30, there is a roundtable discussion. And there are the electives and public works and all of the people that are making the decisions about our area are invited to that. And it's going to be a good-sized group of people. I'm kind of thinking in my mind, a roundtable discussion with about 50 people. That ought to be something. But then from 5 to 7 is when there's the public hearing. And remember, this is at the Port of Tillamook Bay in the mess hall. So there's plenty of room there. I think that we should all be extremely interested in transportation issues in our area. And I think we should all be advocates for maintenance, for change, for upgrades. So I encourage people to be aware of this and tune in, find out what's going on. There's power in knowledge.
Thank you very much. I agree completely. So we'll hope to see the public at that Transportation Roadshow from 5 to 7 p.m. on June 18th.
Yes,
Do you have
ma'am.
anything else
Thank
on your mind? Oh, thank you. Anything else on your mind, Senator?
Well, the robins are going after my carrots again, so I think I'm going to have to go out there with a whip and chains.
That's very funny, but I can relate. Oh, little brats. I can relate because yesterday I was watching with annoyance chipmunks eating my huckleberries that are not even ripe yet, not even barely showing color yet. There's probably just not even going to be any huckleberries left by the time they would have gotten ripe.
Well, see, I know that when the robins finish with the carrots, they're going to go after my blueberries because they're going to start turning blue, and they'll be gone too.
Right. It's true. Well, at least we get to enjoy our gardens.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Senator. Hey, do we have
Thank you.
Representative Javity with us this morning? Give him a moment to unmute. Representative? Well, maybe he wasn't able to join us today. If he comes late, we'll certainly squeeze him in. So with that, we can move on to the Tillamook County Community Health Center.
Yes, good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, Tillamook County. This is Ed with the Health Department here.
Good morning, Ed.
Good morning. Well, Fentanyl Aware, the 101, is our health promotion topic for the month. Counties in Northwest Oregon are seeing increasing drug overdoses resulting in calls to 911, visits to the emergency room, and death. A lot of this increase relates to something called fentanyl. Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid that is now a leading cause of drug overdoses in Oregon. Fentanyl has no taste or smell, and it can be found in fake pills and powders being sold as different drugs. Fentanyl can cause a loss of breathing within moments and cause overdoses and deaths right here in the Northwest. We'll be sharing resources and information from the Fentanyl Aware Northwest campaign this summer on our Facebook page. This campaign, launched by Tillamook, Clatsop, and Columbia counties, is a collaborative effort to raise awareness and prevent opioid overdose. You can learn more at fentanylawarenorthwest.com. This month, our Public Health Coalition, Tillamook County Wellness, will continue our health literacy campaign, encouraging individuals to take charge of their health today for a healthier tomorrow. Specifically, June, we'll be discussing cancer screenings. Get screened for cancer early and as often as recommended by your provider. Cancer screenings do save lives. Follow Tillamook County Wellness on Facebook and visit the Be Well page at tillamookcountywellness.org to learn more. And then this Friday, June 14th, is Wear Blue Day. Wear Blue Day is a day where everyone is encouraged to wear blue to help promote awareness and education on health conditions and screenings for the health and well-being of boys and men. Follow our Facebook page for more information on men's health screening and schedule an appointment with your healthcare provider to go over individualized risks and recommended screenings. And that's our health department update for this week. We'll turn it back over to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Ed. Thanks for letting us know about Wear Blue Day. I didn't know about that. Any questions for Ed? If not, we can move on to the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy. Gail Nelson, are you with us this morning?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
3 announcements from the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy in Wheeler. First of all, again, another reminder for the June 23rd fundraiser concert in partnership with the Halem Bay Health District and North Coast Music Project, June 23rd, 3 p.m. over at NCRD, the Performing Arts Center. Rick Estrin and the Nightcats will be joining. And I'd like to thank all the local businesses and community members who have stepped forward to make this event happen. Proceeds will be used to help outfit the new health center and pharmacy. Tickets are still available. And then another reminder that we have our North Tillamook County Walking Group Tuesday mornings, 10 o'clock. We meet different locations throughout North County, and we explore a different location. Please visit our Facebook page or at Nehalem Bay Health or our website. And finally, the Neah County Health and Wellness Center closed for the summer. We follow the Neah County School District schedule, and our behavioral health team will continue to see student clients throughout the summer as needed at the main clinic or via telehealth. And those are my announcements. Of course, we are here to serve you. If you need anything from our health center or pharmacy, please give us a call, 800-368-5182. And thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Do we have any questions for Gail? I appreciate your report. With that, we can move on to Tillamook Family Counseling Center. Frank and Williams.
Good morning, Commissioners and all. Frank
Good
N.
morning.
Williams, Director, Tillamook Family Counseling Center, Behavioral Health Services for Tillamook County residents. Information, answering questions about any of our services, questions about any programming, you can reach us at 503-842-8201. Want to, my other announcement today is just a reminder that our Turnstone Commons is a 30-unit affordable housing apartment building located in Tillamook, and we are continuing to take applications for Turnstones. There are units there will accommodate some various income ranges, with incomes being capped at 30%, 50%, and 80% of area median income. Turnstone Commons has both studio and one-bedroom apartments with kitchenettes. You can find out more information about that by going to our website. There is a page that's tfcc.org and going to Turnstone Commons, or you can contact the property with any questions. Turnstone@tfcc.org, or by calling 503-354-2284. That is my update for today, and I will answer any questions if anyone has any.
Thank you, Frank. It's very exciting news about Turnstone Commons. It's much needed in our community, and I'm grateful to your organization for taking that on. It's a big project, so thank you.
Thank you.
With that, we can move on to the Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Brown, are you with us? Or Under Sheriff Kelly? If not, how about Emergency Management? Randy Thorpe?
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
A little bit of, got some weather information from our month of May, and it looks like Tillamook received 5.7 inches of rain, which is just a little bit above the normal what we get for the month of May. High temperature was 88 and a low was 34. Weather Service just sent out their 90-day outlook, and it looks like, of course, higher than normal temperatures and probably a 30-40% chance of below precipitation. But hopefully we will not have the drought conditions we had last year. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more than that 40% chance of low precipitation that will be more in the higher range, but we'll just see what happens. So keep our fingers crossed on that. I did hear from the road department that Cape Mears Loop Road will be closed this Thursday, which is the 13th, from 9 o'clock in the morning till 11. And they're closing the road because the contractor is applying the final coat of hydroseed to the roadside slopes up there. And the reasons why they want to close it is because with the winds that they get along that road, they did not want any of the hydro seeding to be blown onto cars' windshields and paint and things like that. So, and they've said this will be the last closure and that they'll need to do. And after this hydroseeding, the contractor will be able to officially hand the road over to Tillamook County Public Works. So it's only going to be closed for just a few hours. So just plan your trip over the loop there just around that time. The latest that I've heard from the Department of Agriculture on our biotoxin closures is that they've still got the razor clams, spay clams, and mussels are still closed along the entire coast. And they're continuing to do sampling there as tides and weather permit on that. And as soon as they say they get 2 consecutive testings that are below the levels, they will be able to start opening up areas again, but they're not giving any indication on when that may be. So hopefully their testing will start to show lower levels of the toxin so we can get back to our favorite pastime. But luckily the crabbing season is still good, and so we just need to switch our favorite pastime from bay clamming to crabbing. Also, the Department of Environmental Quality has said that they have now finished their mystery tarball collection. They've reached their targets and feel that right now there's no additional need to send crews out to do additional cleanups along our shores, that the levels have gone way down, but they still have no clue of where the tar came from. But they're saying they're still researching and trying to figure out where those pesky little tar balls came from. So they say they've collected around 2,000 pounds, a little over a ton of tar during their pickup. So anyway, with that, enjoy your misty Tuesday morning. And that's all I have for today, Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Randy. I appreciate your report. Any questions for Randy? So I have one question. In your report about the shellfish ban, you did not include oysters. Can you speak to that? Do you know if oysters are included in that?
I kept looking and looking, and I've looked at their Facebook, I've looked at their web pages, and I can't find anything on the oysters at all. And so, because I wasn't able to get a definitive answer, I didn't want to say anything on the oysters. You know, they came out a while ago and said that the oysters were closed down in Netarts and Tillamook, but I still haven't seen that. And their latest update is like 4 days old on the Department of Agriculture's website. So they're not really giving out up-to-date information. So I'm not really sure on the oysters. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Okay, well, with that, we can move on to the Board of Commissioners report. Commissioner Olson.
Well, thank you, and good morning again, Commissioner. I'll mention a couple of things this morning, what Senator Weber talked about. First is COLPAC, which is Columbia Pacific Economic Development Agency, and it's a group that is Tillamook County, Clatsop County, Columbia County, and parts of Washington County. And it does economic development. It has a source of funding and loans, revolving loans, and a larger amount, quite a bit larger than our local Economic Development Council, and into the millions. And so the meetings rotate every other month into the 4 counties. And as she pointed out, this time they'll be here in Tillamook County. So we'll meet and talk about a variety of things. Also putting them in touch with some other groups here in the county that possibly could use some money, like our smaller water and sanitary sewer districts. That meeting is then followed by Northwest Act, which is the Area Commission on Transportation. And it meets in the afternoon, and that's a group, same area, same jurisdiction, that sets some priorities and recommendations for ODOT on what projects should be at the top of the list and what should be maybe not as urgent. And so that's an important group as well. And so we come together every other month in person and then some other online meetings. But it's pretty important because we do have the ear of the state, particularly on the Northwest Act. And I think they use the recommendations. They give a lot of weight to them simply because these are the people on the ground that know where the issues are and what's in danger of failure. So that's happening. Then I'll also speak again to the ODOT tour, the Oregon Department of Transportation, which is a week from today. And I will attend that representing the county, and Chris Lady, our Director of Public Works, will be there as well. And this is by invitation only for the first part. And when we get done with the tour, and Chris will lay out a route and narrate it as we move around in a bus. And then we convene later that afternoon, as she pointed out, at 2:30, there's a roundtable discussion, I think, again, is limited to elected officials and others here in the county. But 5 to 7 that evening at the port, the officers' mess at the Port of Tillamook Bay, is a public hearing for a couple of hours. And that's where you get to speak directly to people representing ODOT and some people who make decisions and say what's on your mind and what you think they've done well and what they've not done so well. And they need to hear that. So we'll have our chance as officials to give them input, but it's important that they hear from the public as well. So be sure you mark that one a week from today, 5 o'clock at the port. Next thing I'll mention is I attended a meeting last week and then I went on to Newport as an extension of that meeting. There's a group that's been around for quite a number of years, but it went into suspension over COVID and has now been reactivated. It's called the Oregon Coast Zone Management Association. And essentially, it's a gathering of all public agencies up and down the entire Oregon coast, clear from Astoria and Warrenton all the way down to the California border. And it has cities and counties and a number of other special districts. And it deals primarily with whatever issues are coming up on the Oregon coast, like, for example, the tar balls that were referenced a little bit ago, and lots of other things, including transportation and security and tourism and roads and so on. And it works closely with the Coastal Caucus and putting in recommendations and calling to their attention what needs to be done. That evening, there was an extension of that meeting that was actually put on by the state of Oregon. And there was a hearing in Newport regarding ocean energy. And it was the last of 4 hearings. They've moved up from clear down, I think, in Brookings, Coos Bay and Florence, and then on up to Newport. And they were listening to people who had something to say about the potential and the progress being made on ocean energy, meaning windmills way out in the open sea. There were about 35 people at the meeting in Newport, and I testified on behalf of the county. And essentially my question is, what if about 90% of the people from all different sources, from scientists, from people in the utility industry, from the fishing community, and lots of others, including just residents who live along the coast, what if 90% of the people don't think this is a good idea or would like to slow it down? And of course, they didn't offer an answer, but it appears to me that what the public wants and what the public believes and what the public would like to see happen is largely irrelevant. And I say that because I've been to quite a number of these hearings now over the last few years, including when I was on the PUD board. There were a number of conversations. And this is a federal project, and I think maybe that is the key. The federal government has designed some areas out in the open ocean, and there's out quite a ways, 18 to 20 miles. And so it's on the horizon. You probably won't be able to see it if you're standing on the beach. But they've narrowed it down to a couple of sites, and they're moving up the coast as well. And they mean to put in windmills, and I'm not sure at all. And I think most of us came away with the impression that the federal government is going to do it, and it doesn't much matter what the local people, the fishermen, the ones who have undersea cables, and all the other folks along the Oregon coast have to say. It's going to get done eventually, and that's a bit disappointing and discouraging, but it is what it is. A couple of other things quickly. I'll have another utility meeting for our small utilities on 9 to 11 on Thursday, the 27th, a couple of weeks out. We had one a few weeks ago where the small utilities, meaning water and wastewater and others, have come together and talk about common problems across Tillamook County. One of the problems being they're simply so small, it's hard to raise capital, it's hard to generate enough cash flow to actually run the agency. So we'll have our second meeting, and we'll have the director of COPAC there that I mentioned earlier to talk about a source of funding. Then finally, I guess I'll mention our budget. We will adopt a budget at the end of the month for the county. It is balanced for the next fiscal year, which begins July 1. But we have some longer term issues, and we're running a series of meetings that will start in July and continue through the balance of the year to look at options. And right now, I prepared a spreadsheet of about 23 or 24 options, all of which are rather disagreeable. But we have to do what we have to do, and so there'll be a lot more to come on that. But there's some things that we're going to have to adjust to keep our budgets in balance and have expenditures equal revenues. So with that, Commissioner, I'll thank you for the time and go back on mute.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for Commissioner Olson? Well, if not, I will give a brief report. I just looked up the shellfish ban that Randy Thorpe and I were talking about. It's a ban that's because there's a toxin causing paralytic shellfish poisoning. The toxin, curiously, is from an algae. It's just something naturally occurring. But Randy was talking about the shellfish, including mussels, clams, scallops. Mussels, clams, scallops, and oysters are all banned here, including oysters. And that's because there are 3 bays that have been named that are included. It's Tillamook Bay, Netarts Bay, and Willapa Bay. So I'm thinking about our commercial oyster farmers and how they must be, their business is obviously suffering right now. The ban has to be cleared. I think they test it weekly, maybe on Thursdays. The announcement came out last Thursday, at any rate. And the ban has to be clear for 2 weeks before they can reopen. So as of last Thursday, they have 2 weeks at the most, or 2 weeks at the least, rather, that they cannot harvest oysters. So I'm thinking about our commercial oyster farmers and the bind that they're in right now to not be able to harvest and sell oysters. And so I just encourage people to consider your local commercial oyster farmers and how we might support them otherwise. For example, I went out to lunch at Jandy Acres. Jandy Oysters is on South Prairie Road where Hidden Acres used to be. And so they have a oyster bar, and also the nursery that used to be Hidden Acres is now Jandy Acres. So I went to lunch there last week. We didn't eat oysters, obviously, because they're banned, but they have all kinds of delicious food. I had excellent fish tacos. My friend Jane, Jane had fish and chips. They were great. And we toured the nursery, and it was lovely. So I encourage you to figure out how, as a community, we can support our local oyster fishermen through this ban. And I also wanted to mention that I received a notification yesterday from a number of people who are worried about off-highway vehicle traffic on the Upper Trask. So I just wanted to talk about that for a minute. So for years, apparently, locals on the Upper Trask, way up, almost at the end of the pavement, so it's probably, I'm guessing now, maybe 15 miles up, have used off-highway vehicles to go off onto the forest roads, onto the gravel roads on the South Fork. And so lately people have made complaints. So the sheriff's office has been patrolling it and stopping people. And so people are reaching out to the commissioner's office saying, hey, wait a second, we've been able to do this for years. So what's happening? And so I checked with the sheriff's office and they said, well, what's happening are complaints. So people are complaining that people are riding off highway vehicles on the pavement. So we're enforcing it. And that's what's happening. That's the change. It's complaint driven. So I'm looking into this a little bit and I'm asking, what are the possibilities to have a small portion of that road, just the top portion where people are going off into the forest, they're headed up into the gravel area, to have that designated as a section of the road where you can drive off-highway vehicles legally. Because there are places where that's possible. There are lots of them in Eastern Oregon, but there are some here too. There's some on the Upper Nestucca. So we're checking into that. It looks like it may be possible, and we're trying to figure out what the process is. So just know that I heard you. I'm working on it. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to come up with a good solution for that situation. And I wanted to say happy graduation, to echo the senator's sentiments. Graduation is a really significant milestone. It is a real achievement, and I'm just very proud of everyone who has worked so hard to graduate. And this Friday, I'll be at the TBCC graduation because I'm the chair of that board. I'll be giving a little welcome greeting, which I was writing yesterday, because TBCC will translate the messages into Spanish. So I love that. I feel great about that because a lot of students are from Spanish-speaking families, and a lot of their families come to see their graduates graduate from TBCC. And so we want the event to be inclusive. We want parents and grandparents of our graduates to know what's being said and to fully participate in the event. So I feel great about that. That's this Friday, the 14th, at the fairgrounds. And I also want to say Happy Father's Day. You know, I know a lot of amazing fathers who make a tremendous difference in their children's lives, a tremendous difference in the community and in the world. And you know, it's the work that you do is very important. And I just want you to know that we all appreciate you. So with that, I will move on to the cities. So do we have Mayor Stock with us from Manzanita?
Yes, Commissioner Bell, can you hear me okay?
Yes, good morning.
Great, good morning. Thanks as always for all the updates from everyone who's spoken. It's always amazing the amount of work and good work that's going on in the county on the behalf of all of us. So thank you for all of that. I'm just going to highlight one thing for Manzanita of the many things that are happening here this week. Tomorrow at our monthly work session of the City Council, we'll be spending a couple of hours going through a proposal for how we lower the city speed limit going from 25 to 20 miles per hour. So the initiative is called 20 is Plenty, and it was raised in a couple of ways. One by a citizen who came some months ago to council and said, you know, I've been looking at this and I'm concerned, and I think we'd all benefit from a lower speed rate, and 5 miles an hour may not sound very different to people, but it actually does make quite a difference, particularly for pedestrians and bicyclists. So we started working, after listening to that, we started working on that to see what it would take. And of course, it has always involved more than people might think. So our law enforcement group has been working on it, as well as Public Works. But it does coincide with some longer range planning that the city participated in, along with the communities of Nehalem and Wheeler a year or so ago, which was an update of our regional transportation plan for the long haul. And one of the things that's clearly called out in that for all of our communities, but I know in Manzanita is particularly strong opinions, that we really want our streets to be safe for pedestrians, to be safe for bikes, to be safe for kids on tricycles, which was something I heard about at our last one of our last meetings. And so that is underway. We'll be looking at what it costs the city, what we need to invest to do that, and that's been built into our budget because we knew this was coming. So it may sound like a small thing to people who aren't in the town, but I think will make a good bit of difference, and is part of our desire to keep a pace that is slower here, which is very near and dear to many people. So slow down a little bit, take a deep breath, take in the ocean air if you can, look up and see the world around you when you're visiting Manzanita, and just enjoy it. And also for the people who live here primarily, of course. So I'm looking forward to that conversation tomorrow, and I'll finish with that. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that conversation, and while you were talking, I was picturing times I've driven through Manzanita down Lanita Avenue, and some, particularly on weekends and holidays, the street is just packed, and it's definitely with pedestrians, and definitely not safe to drive even 25 sometimes. You're absolutely right about that. So that makes sense. And thanks for talking about it. With that, we can move on to the city of Nehalem. Do we have anyone on from Nehalem? Or Wheeler? How about Rockaway Beach? Do we have Mayor McNeely? Perhaps not. How about the city of Garibaldi?
Good morning, Commissioner Bell. This is Leanne Welch, Interim City Manager for
Good morning.
Garibaldi. So let's see, Garibaldi. The City Council meeting is Monday, June 17th at 6 p.m. here at City Hall, where they will be approving the budget. And the City Council is having an executive session meeting to hold city manager interviews on Tuesday, June 18th. So that's pretty exciting. We've moved forward on that. We are working with the port and the community on the Garibaldi's Day event, including a parade. So yes, we are having a parade. And I did hear from Senator Weber that she will be in here, and we have reached out to also Representative Javity's office to see if they would like to participate. And if anybody would like to be in the Garibaldi Day parade, the applications, you can get one on Facebook at City Hall, or I'm trying to get it posted on our website. And we have completed the emergency sewer repair on Highway 101. We're just paving today, that patch, and then we will be done with that. And then Highway 101 will be open for business. So any questions for the city of Garibaldi? I'm going to move on.
No questions
go ahead.
from. I was going to say no questions from me, but great news about the Garibaldi Parade. And will you repeat the date that you just said that the Highway 101 construction will be complete?
Today, for the emergency sewer repair. Yes. So yeah, we've had well, last week was a one lane through Garibaldi during the day. So we have completed that. Moving on to Bay City, I am the mayor of Bay City. So the city council meeting is tonight at 6 p.m. where we will be approving the city budget for this next fiscal year. The Public Works Department did get a small city allotment grant from ODOT, so we are starting the paving. Of course, it's raining out this morning, so it's kind of tough to pave in the rain, but we're going to give it a good go. The city signed an intergovernmental agreement with the Tillamook Fire District to help them with their staffing transition. Chief Christensen will be helping their team with operations, but really looking at a team and having all of Tillamook County help with the Tillamook Fire District's transition, and hope that goes well. The Department of Environmental Quality is reviewing both Bay City and Garibaldi's wastewater treatment permits, the NPDES, National Pollution Discharge Elimination System permit. They've come up with some new criteria for a couple of parameters, so we're all trying to figure out how to meet these more stringent criteria. And then the Bay City Emergency Volunteers meet the third Monday at 5:30 at City Hall, and we're working on a county-wide Great Oregon Shakeout drill and your at-home camping. So we invite everybody to get involved in their local emergency volunteer programs, and that's all I have for today, unless there's any questions for any of the cities that I'm working with.
Thank you very much. I hope that I hope there are excellent candidates for the city manager of Garibaldi. I'm grateful for your service there, and I'm sure you don't want to do it forever.
Thank you, Commissioner. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. And I thought it was great news about the fire districts coming together to work with the Tillamook Fire District. So thanks for mentioning that. How about Nathan George from the city of Tillamook?
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Yes, I do have a few things. The police department, our Assistant Executive Assistant Larson, Sergeant Harrell, and Lieutenant Trox all attend the implementation training on the new property and evidence inventory system. This system will bring our agency to where it should be regarding technology and best practices. Last week, Lieutenant Trox attended the monthly meeting with our sheriff, district attorney, and Chief Hart from Manzanita. These meetings are priceless as we discuss the best practices and current trends within Tillamook County law enforcement and criminal justice. Really appreciate all those involved in that meeting on that monthly. This is last week. Last week was the last week for school for the Tillamook School District. School Resource Officer Olson was excited to wrap up the school year and kick off the summer. And unfortunately, our School Resource Officer Olson doesn't get the summer off as he'd like, but he'll be covering patrol shifts throughout the summer. It will be nice having him back, helping with the heavy call loads we have from the tourist season. Planning for the June Dairy Parade is well underway. The police department and the Public Works Department are thankful for the participation and partnership with the community and with our Public Works Department. Both the departments are working together really well. This will be a great opportunity for our community partners to come together with the city staff as well. In the Public Works Department, we're delighted, as I announced last week, to welcome our new Street Division Supervisor, Tyler Hopkins. He will oversee streets, divisions, projects, operations, parks, so forth, and we're thrilled to have him on board. The street division is preparing preparation for June Dairy Parade also, as well as police department by organizing and assembling the hundreds of traffic control devices necessary for this event. And the street division will be sweeping the streets and cleaning the bioswales downtown this week. Crews hung over 40 flower baskets along Main and Pacific Avenues last week and have started watering them daily. Please be mindful of our employees and equipment as we want to keep the flowers vibrant. And this year, the vendor went to Jandy's, and we want to say thank you. The flowers are beautiful. The water distribution division is in the process of reading water meters throughout the week. Please don't park on or obstruct access to your water meter during this period to ensure an accurate reading. Accurate readings are crucial for building precision and detecting potential water leaks that may not be immediately visible. And please remember, utility payments are due the 15th of this month. Cascade Waterworks recently completed the much-needed task of rebuilding the control valves for well 2. This maintenance is essential for the well to operate efficiently. The control valves manage the water being flushed from the line after a set period, gradually direct the water into the system. They will continue making repairs in the well, and we will seek more funding in August. Our water treatment plant has been experiencing what's called telemetry issues, which is also known as the automatic control system. While the plant is fully operational, technicians are still working to facilitate upgrade and repair. And the Public Works Department would like to announce a temporary street closure on 7th Street for necessary sewer lateral repair today, June 11th. The closure will affect both lanes of 7th Street between Miller Avenue and the Stuck Avenue. The street closure is essential to the safety of the public and the workers while the repairs are carried out. Standing cooperation. And as more sewer laterals are replaced and the city continues collaborating with contractors and homeowners, please be aware of the increased construction activity around town. Your patience cooperation is greatly appreciated as we work to improve our city's infrastructure. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at our main number and get a hold of the Public Works Department, or you can email publicworks@tillamookor.gov. Just a reminder, everyone is responsible for their own sewer lateral lines and for fixing them when problems occur. And you do have up to 1 year to fix those with possible extensions. If you have any questions, please get a hold of the city. There are options too to help out, and we have that information. Also, as I announced last week, but again, reminder, all municipal elections are on the city's website, are live, and will be through August 13th. Wards 1, 3, 5, and 6 are all open seats this year. To run for city office, a resident may complete the pack found on the city's website, or it can be picked up at City Hall, in the office of Deputy City Recorder Tammy Heintzman, through August 13th, as I said. you may contact with any questions. So once again, we have 6 wards, and of those 6, 4 of those are open seats. So 1, 3, 5, and 6. If anyone has questions or is interested or knows anybody interested, you can go to our website to look up the ward district boundaries, or you can contact Tammy Heitzman. Please note we are hiring a public works technician, chief of police, planning technician, and a project manager/engineer. Please visit our website or stop by City Hall for an application. As always, if you remind you to see something, say something by calling 911 for emergencies, and dispatch for non-emergencies. And the next regular council meeting will be held on Monday, June 17th at 7 p.m. And we encourage everyone to attend. That's all I have, Commissioner. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate your report.
You're welcome.
Well, with that, we will get ready to close this meeting, and I'll say thank you so much to KTIL for broadcasting. Thank you to everyone who participates, and thank you, Tillamook County, for listening. This meeting is adjourned at 8:55.